What up, everyone? Zeus on Crypto News here. Welcome back to my channel, streaming straight from Vegas. So let's dive in. It's what's going on for the last couple of days. It's a lot of shit show again. So here we go. Let's see how is Bitcoin doing. So apparently, uh, Bitcoin and crypto markets being spooked by the all world news, and we're pretty much sitting at 113 grand, a little bit down. So all people are so fearful about political tensions and all finance world, crypto market meltdown, stock market same way. So pretty much they kind of follow each other. Crypto always follow stock market. And so here we go. What's going on? Uh, so breaking news from World Affairs. Tensions between US and India skyrockets, apparently because of the tariffs. India says it's not willing to stop buying Russian oil, calling Trump threat unjustifiable. So, yeah, then, of course, China continue buying oil from Russia, also rejecting US demands. So, and I like that meme, pretty much Trump saying, I hold the cards, and G said, the cards are made in China. Well, that's the reality. We cannot just change with all of these tariffs that we're gonna produce everything in the United States and America here because China been doing that for a long time. Same as India, same as other countries, and of course these tariffs bring the big storm and stuff like that. So, but eventually, I think we gonna come up to the mutual decision. But while we have all of these tariff wars, I think it's gonna be market's gonna be shaky for the next month, maybe more, maybe less. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, Bitcoin even breaks here $112,000 with all of these tensions. But it's I think it's normal, Bitcoin go up and down, and on the news, of course, it's responding to the news. So, and on the rates, what's going on with the rates, the world rates? So, obviously, Euro Union cut the rates from 4.5% up to the already two. I think it's 2.25, and China did that uh, some time ago, up to the 3%. And of course, here we are with Fed CEO, Fed Jerome Powell, still having beef with the Trump and doesn't want to cut any rates. He's blaming on tariffs and but inflation apparently U.S. inflation has dropped down to the 1.65%, and he always scared Jerome Powell that inflation is going to be too high, but we should look on jobs reports and stuff like that, housing markets, and if we're not gonna start cutting the rates, I think we're gonna be in big trouble. But apparently, uh, that's the meme of the inflation. What's the cause of the inflation? So, of course, we checked all the world news, but in the end, what come to the end? It's pretty much money printing. All governments printing money and printing dollars. That's what's gonna happen in the end. We're gonna get a rate cut, most likely. I think it's by 80% prediction on the markets. They think they're gonna cut the rates up to the 25 points, which is 0.25% for the next month. Well, hopefully it's gonna happen. So, and news about crypto stuff. Late news from Coinbase that add PayPal integration in Canada. Users can now buy and sell crypto directly through their PayPal accounts. That's very cool news. Canadians always been one of the actually top people who been pro crypto. Not their government, of course, but them and actually the corporation been pretty cool about crypto. So it's nice to see big crypto adoption happening. So, and here's the news from Vivek. Uh, That's the Senator Cynthia Loomis. If I'm not mistaken, she's from White. She's from Wyoming representative. I don't remember. She's a Republican, a Democrat. Doesn't really matter. But she's a big proponent of the Bitcoin and crypto bill. So bill to buy 1 million Bitcoin will be on the floor soon. Apparently, she's presenting that bill to the government. So hopefully, it's gonna happen. Then in from Coin One News, Michigan State pension fund just bought $10.7 million worth of BTC. That's not big amount money, but you see, guys, adoption happening. But what's most importantly here, it's pension funds jump on the Bitcoin and crypto. Why pension funds? It's one of the biggest finance stuff happening in hedge funds and pension funds. So it's nice to see that happening. And then White from Coinvo, so White House confirmed that President Trump supports removing capital gains on Bitcoin payments. Well, hopefully it gonna comes, but it's just in a talking and stuff like that. So, but if that's gonna happen, remove capital gains from the Bitcoin payments, that's gonna be big. America gonna America be big on a crypto adoption like other countries we talk about, Dubai and Salvador and stuff like that, and a lot of people gonna start move back to America or just start moving here because of that. So, and here's the SEC chair, new SEC chair Paul Atkins. He talked about crypto. Let's listen what he have to say about it.
Today, I should like to discuss what Commissioner Peirce, Hester Peirce, and I are calling Project Crypto, which will be the SEC's North Star in aiding President Trump in his historic efforts to make America the crypto capital of the world. The SEC will not stand idly by and watch innovations develop overseas while our capital markets remain stagnant. We're at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm announcing the launch of Project Crypto, a commission-wide initiative to modernize the securities rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on-chain. The President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets released the PWG report with clear recommendations for the SEC and other federal agencies to build a framework to maintain U.S. dominance in crypto asset markets. This report is the blueprint to make America first in blockchain and crypto technology. We will not watch from the sidelines. We will lead, we will build, and we will ensure that the next chapter of financial innovation is written right here in America.
Yeah, so that's pretty badass news. That SEC getting pro crypto, which is kind of Trump promised that on his campaign and stuff like that, but nobody believed that gonna happen. But it's nice to have pro crypto SEC. It's nothing about Democrat or Republican. It doesn't really matter. It matter here for the us for crypto world, who's pro crypto. That's all matter, you know. And crypto adoption's happening, and they're gonna bring so many investors in America and so many adoption, which is gonna be great. So it's nice to have that kind of pro SEC. So, and from another news from Crypto Rover, that Binance founder CZ said that nations will print unlimited money to buy Bitcoin. And it is happening right now. We're gonna see later on the news. So here is the from Bitcoin Archive. 60% of strategy Bitcoin holdings were acquired after President Trump election. So what happened, like I told you in the previous videos, that's the Michael Saylor. He's actually one of the guys from corporate. He's the CEO of the used to be MicroStrategy. Now they rename it as a strategy. He's the first guy in the 2020 who put uh, Bitcoin on the balance sheet of the corporate of his corporation of his company. And before it wasn't really popular to have the Bitcoin, and everybody kind of make fun of him and think that he gonna be wrecked and his company gonna go bankrupt. But it ended up happening crazy stuff. Pretty much, so many companies and governments pretty much adopting the Bitcoin and crypto assets, and escalation happening big. So here's what Michael Saylor have to say about it. Let's listen to that.
Say to everybody in this room is if you want freedom, if you want liberty, if you want to live your finest life, you're going to need economic power. You need physical power, you need political power, but you need economic power. Bitcoin represents economic armor. When you put on the suit of armor, then no mayor, no government, no collectivist, no socialist can debank you. They can't take your money away. They can't impoverish you. Just like a gun is a deterrent, Bitcoin is a deterrent, because if you have wealth in Bitcoin, you have the option to move it to any jurisdiction and you can keep it, and no one can take it away from you via force of violence, no matter where you are on Earth. And so Satoshi gave us an opportunity. I hope I intrigue all of you with the opportunity and you go do the research and determine for yourself how you benefit from it. But I just leave you with the thought that Bitcoin is economic armor.
You have, Michael. Thank you. God willing, we have a
Yeah, so I pretty much call him godfather of the Bitcoin world. He's a big proponent and big promoter of the uh, decentralization, and pretty much what he's saying that no matter what jurisdiction, what countries you live, if you have a Bitcoin, you have your own private wallets. It's with you. Nobody can take away from you. Nobody can hack you. Nobody can find you and stuff like that. Like even he mentioned before that if somebody government try get after you and say give me all your bitcoins, he pretty much can say, oh, I lost the seed phrase code, so that's it. They cannot physically do nothing to you. They cannot hack into your account. Of course, you need to be very careful yourself to not lose it and stuff like that, like we talked about before. But we need to all learn how to do the custody of the ledger, Trezor, and other cold and hot wallet storage. So yeah, that's a cool thing that nobody really can take away your crypto and Bitcoin. You pretty much can put everything on your wallet, hide it, your seed phrase code, or just remember in here only 12 or 24 letters, and that's it. Go disappear and showed up in Antarctica 10 years later and pull up your seed phrase code, and here's all your money. Probably 10 times more if you hold it in Bitcoin in 10 years than right now, or maybe more. So yeah, from CoinVo also, Brian Armstrong, he's a CEO of the Coinbase exchange, says that US will buy 60 billion Bitcoin for its Bitcoin reserve, which is like we talk about. Cynthia Loomis, representative, a parliament representative from the Wyoming, and apparently he's not really speculating. It's probably fact. We just don't know yet. But eventually, Bitcoin reserve is coming, and yeah, not much Bitcoin left over the counter. And from Bitcoin Express, that Trump to sign executive order forbidding banks from denying services to crypto Bitcoin companies. That's a really good news. because it's been many news, many examples that people transferring $10,000 more or less on the bank account, and banks pretty much blocking them and they're saying, where's this money from? And if it comes up from the exchanges or crypto stuff, they pretty much blocking them, and many of them freeze the money, freeze the accounts, or shut down the bank accounts, which is very hostile from the traditional system. That's why we need DeFi, not CeFi. CeFi is centralized finance, which is regular world that banks been using for how many years? 200, 300 years. Uh, and now we move pretty much to the decentralized world, that self-custody. It's very important that you responsible that for your own finance, because you cannot be responsible for your job, you cannot be responsible for the your bank account, for your money in a bank. You cannot be responsible for the house. Sometimes something happen and they can take away from you. But we need to learn how to be on Bitcoin and crypto just because of that. And adoption happening very well. I'm happy about that, and I think future is already here. And here we go. I talk about Bitcoin. How many Bitcoins left? So apparently, Bitcoin OTC, it's over-the-counter desks. Supply is drying up fast. Supply shock is coming. So pretty much from we had what 500,000 Bitcoins in 2022, 2021, and now we're as low as 150,000. That's crazy. And old whales not selling Bitcoin, and I'm sure many people from crypto world, they're not even gonna touch the Bitcoin. Even if they die, they're not gonna give it away, and it's just all of those Bitcoins disappear and go into infinity. Like now it's 21 million Bitcoin, and already 19.5 million in the circulation. And from that 19.5 million in circulation, uh, I think 7 million Bitcoins haven't moved for over 10 years or just been lost. Like that guy from UK who's put over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin right now in a hard drive, and he pretty much throw it away in the early days of the Bitcoin adoption. He did mine Bitcoin from the computer, and many years later, a lot of people, a lot of stories being told that they lost so many millions of Bitcoins. So that's what's happening. And you cannot print Bitcoin like you printed the money. So and it all comes to the end that they're gonna negotiate with all of these tariffs. They're gonna figure out with all of these wars, and rate cuts gonna start happening in a month or couple months. And what's gonna happen? It's QT, which is quantitative easing, which is they're gonna start printing the money. So in the end, we're printing more and more money year over year over year and over year. They said they print a lot of money in 2020. Well, I think we're gonna print 2, 3 times more or 4 times more money next couple years. So that's the reality happen right now. So and here's the top 10 companies that hold in Bitcoin. Of course, Michael Saylor is number one. He's his company is MicroStrategy, holding almost 650,000 Bitcoins. That's crazy. Then you have Marathon Holdings, that's the Bitcoin miners. They mining Bitcoin and they also purchasing Bitcoin same time. Then 21 Capital, it's kind of a new company. They trying to be like a MicroStrategy and they buying Bitcoin. Right, right company, it's a mining company. Then Trump Media, pretty much that's a Trump company that purchasing the crypto Bitcoin, and I think they have some other stuff too. Metaplanet, I think it's a Japanese company, have 7,500 Bitcoins. Galaxy, it's a Mike Novogratz, uh, one of the big proponents of the Bitcoin also. holding 12.8K. CleanSpark is also miners, Bitcoin miners, 12.6. Coinbase, like we talk about Brian Armstrong, CEO, they hold 1.7 thousand Bitcoins. And of course, Tesla and Elon Musk holding 11.5 thousand Bitcoins. But apparently he sold a couple of years back Bitcoin, half of it, but he's still holding half it. And I think SpaceX, and I'm sure SpaceX have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but a private company, not open for the public. So here's the adoption, world adoption happening. Breaking news from Bitcoin Archive. Indonesia Vice President office consider adopting Bitcoin as a national reserve asset. So apparently, everybody since America want to put as a national reserve, everybody wants to do it. You, like they say, you don't want to be first, but you don't want to be last. So, and same happened with the Brazil. They had first hearing to the National Bitcoin Reserve apparently in a couple weeks. So that's the cool news. And Italian Parliament member Marcello Coppo urges national banking foundations to start allocating in bitcoins. That's really nice to see that from the Europe, because in Europe they very anti Bitcoin and crypto. I don't know why they do that, because a lot of Europeans, a lot of English people too, they very pro crypto, and a lot of people from millionaires fluent from Germany and England over Dubai, Central Asia, Eastern Asia, and stuff like that, like Hong Kong and Singapore, just to better crypto jurisdictions, because Euro Union and UK, they're very harsh on the crypto, and they very against the crypto people. So that's kind of bad to the Europe, but hopefully it's gonna be more people like that promoting crypto and jumping on independence and decentralization. And here we go. That's one of the pretty much anti Bitcoin and crypto countries too. France considering mining Bitcoin with the nuclear energy. So, like they say from Bitcoin Archive, government so waking up. I don't know about that. Is it the real news or not? But France very anti Bitcoin, and they're pro banks. All of these grandmas and grandpas from the Euro unions, they don't care about regular people. Apparently, they just want to even take away money from the bank accounts of the richer people and put into green energy and stuff like that, which is, I think, is kind of joke. And here we go from CoinVo, that Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire said that stablecoins will make transactions feel like texting. We're gonna talk about further down the road about stablecoins, why it's very big news. I think it's very big for this Bitcoin cycle, because something like Circle, it's a USDC stablecoin. They just went public, and it went outrageous. Prices went many thousand%, if I'm not mistaken. And what happened with the stable coins, it's pretty much dollar to dollar or euro to euro pegged money, and you can pretty much use it like text messages, like a crypto, and send them to each other from one bank account to another one, and it not gonna charge outrageous fees like MasterCard or Visa or other credit cards. Besides, they credit cards charging 30-20% monthly fees. They're also charging like 1 to 3 to 5% of the transactions. So stablecoins gonna have a fraction of the transactions, maybe even pennies of that, of charging. So we'll see, and we'll talk about next videos about stable coins. It's a big deal. So here's the CEO of the BlackRock, and he's saying pretty much what we've been saying, all crypto world been saying for the last 5 years, that every US millionaire wanted one Bitcoin, there wouldn't be enough. So yeah, if we only have 21 million, and like we talked before, it's probably 14, 15 million left active Bitcoins, or maybe less. And yeah, how many millionaires we have? 50 millionaires or 100 million millionaires? Only even in the United States. So nobody can own the one Bitcoin. They cannot afford that. And apparently still most of the world not jumping on a crypto, or not even researching crypto. And many people, like I talked a couple days ago with my friends, still think Bitcoin is a scam and it's all bad. But you know, guys, you gotta choose what's your future, and you just want to see what comes up, because dollar is inflating. What dollar worth 100 years, it's worth 100 times less. Pretty much, if 100 years ago $1 worth $1, now it's $1 worth probably 1 cent of it. So, but Bitcoin gonna go up only from now, and all of these fluctuations happened with the political tensions, market manipulations. A lot of market manipulations happened from the big crypto exchanges and stuff like that. They leverage the people who's doing leverage, which is, you need to be very careful about that. Many people pretty much gambling on that and getting wrecked, which is, I did that too. Learned my lesson, maybe not enough. Yeah, so that's what's happening. Oh, here we go. We talk about, let's talk about Adam Back. Who's the Adam Back? It's actually, he's a British cryptographer. He's he's a big name in the cryptocurrency. He's invented like a hash cash in 1997, and he's pretty much helped to inspire Bitcoin mainstream. And it's actually many speculations. They say he's the one who is the Satoshi Nakamoto, but he's declining that. So it's interesting. Let's listen to the guy.
Bitcoin is more of a gold competitor, so it has an investment component, and of course the adoption story as it gains use is what's driving it. I think eventually it will reach full adoption. We don't know where that will be.
What does that look like?
What does full adoption look like? So I think the one target is gold, and gold values are quite high at the moment because of the macro hedge phenomena where governments will buy gold in times of uncertainty. And so, but even there, with the current Bitcoin price level, it's within about a factor of 9 of reaching the gold market cap. And then the larger addressable market for monetary premiums in different assets, like housing, there's a lot of monetary premium there where people will buy an apartment and not use it, not even rent it out, just as an investment vehicle, right? So you see a lot of underused housing premium in the housing sector in different countries, and obviously premium in shares in the stock markets and bonds and other forms of alternative assets. And so, how Finney actually estimated that to be 200 trillion. And surprisingly, he did this in I think 10th of January 2009, before there were any transactions and any market value. So it's quite a kind of forward-looking estimate, but it seems to be still, considered a reasonable estimate of the size of that addressable market. Now, we don't know, how much of that Bitcoin will capture. So there's a bit of conjecture there, but it seems logical that, if the institutional adoption continues and the retail interest continues, that Bitcoin could get there.
So yeah, he's uh, saying that Hal Finney, it's another guy that saying that eventually it can get up to 200 trillion market cap, which is crazy, and gonna surpass gold market cap. So here is the coin market cap of the all assets. So of course, gold is number one. We have a $23 trillion of the gold. It's number one, and Bitcoin is only 2.2 trillions, right? Below Amazon and above silver. So it's crazy. Can you imagine if Bitcoin reach gold market cap? That's another zero, which is, here we go, 1 mil for you. And if it's gonna reach market cap of the gold, can you imagine gold will be probably 30, 40 million, a trillion dollars too. It's crazy. So, and like you guys see, for your investing, it's a big opportunity. Of course, not financial advice. I'm not doing any advice. I'm just a regular dude on the internet, just who try have fun with you guys and just chit chat and shit post a little bit. So yeah, it's a big investment to your future, to your families into Bitcoin, and I think we all should adopt that. You don't have to buy that 50% of your check and stuff like that. You can just put little by little, and you just gonna see big adds up. Uh, and don't guys be scared of all of this little volatility. It's nothing. Let's yeah, all of this volatility. If we check, let's check back real quick. Look at that. Last 24 hours, Bitcoin was only minus 1%. And last 7 days, with all of these tensions, political tensions, and uh, people measuring contest, with all of this president, it's minus 3.3%. It's crazy. Last 3 months, Bitcoin 17%. And look at that number in the beginning of the Bitcoin. Of course, we all wish we would be here. But even here, it's still not too late, guys. It's still not too late. We are just on the early stages of the Bitcoin adoption. It's a .com bubble, but this bubble might never pop, and it's just gonna be expanded bigger and bigger. So we'll see. And here go for the fun news. President Trump says anti-crypto. Elizabeth Warren is a loser. Well, she's pretty much it. Is a loser. She's a representative of the Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Pocahontas. She's always been very anti-crypto. Obviously, uh, it's been figured out that she's been her and actually another guy who's the ex-SEC chair, Gary Gensler, another clown. They've been paid by the banks, and they always been anti-crypto army, and they even had many anti-crypto acts in the previous administration. So I'm not trying to be here Republican or Democrat, but I'm trying to be here pro crypto and pro Bitcoin. We need to have our own independence. We don't need none of the government mind our business. It's our business personally, just between us and our loved ones. So yeah, and here we go, how people and governments look at that, especially governments, pretty much. Your Ponzi scheme is killing the environment, and here's the Bitcoin. So it is from trend in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the solution, not the problem. Yeah, so that's the news for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for the big support for my people. I love you all, and please come back to see me in next streams. I love you all. Zeus is out.